All right, so we are ending our month on love. So sad, because who wants to talk about anything else, really? And in fact, no matter what we're talking about ever, we're really talking about love. Here we say God is love, love is God. These two words are interchangeable. Contrary to what we might have been taught or told, God is not a man on a cloud. God is the very essence and vibration and energy that runs through each and every one of us and connects us one to another. But it was very interesting really contemplating this topic, because I really have come to the conclusion that we never let love go. We may think we have to let love go, or we may feel like letting love go, but that's only true in a relative perspective. It's only true when we talk about conditional love. Because conditional love is really what humans do, not what God does. God loves you no matter what you've done, no matter what mistakes you've made, no matter how you smell or what you say or where you leave your socks or whether you take out the garbage or whether you've hurt somebody's. There are no conditions for how loved you are by the one who made you. Created in the image and likeness of love, you are love. But we kind of live in such a way that we think that we have to get love, find love, chase love, convince someone to love us. So it becomes kind of this scarce commodity, right? Like, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough love, or I don't have enough money. And the truth is, there's no scarcity of love. There's no place where it's missing. Now, it's easy to think that we lose love, especially if somebody divorces you, then it feels like we've lost love. And some of us carry around that experience of having lost love for a lifetime without recovery, without finding that bridge of light. So the topic today really is about, one, releasing, if you have any of that, to find a way to soften it or to release it. I love the lyric, take it on the chin, but don't forget to love back in. So deal with the loss, but then don't, and we talked earlier in the month, don't put a no trespassing sign on your heart, because then love can't get out and love can't get in. And that makes for a very miserable human being who's living life without love. Being loved or loving, though, as I've said also earlier in the month, not loving is way more painful than not being loved. To not let the love in you out. So the first idea to embrace is first the distinction between conditional love and unconditional love. And conditional love is completely normal. It is what we do. It is how humans are. We have rules. I'll love you if you're faithful. I'll love you if you support our family. I'll love you if you take out the garbage every Monday. Whatever that condition is, that is kind of how it is for us. So as love, in that kind of conditional love, when the conditions are no longer met, when you have not met my conditions of satisfaction, I may choose to take my body somewhere where your body is not. Right? Or somebody may take their body somewhere where you are not, if you're not meeting their conditions of satisfaction. So in that paradigm, love will come and go. It will come and go. It's come and gone for me. Well, I don't even want to tell you how many times. I'm not the only one here. So what we really want to focus on is this unconditional love, this kind of love that acknowledges spiritual truth of life, which is transcendent to the ego's way of living. Now, you don't have to change, you just have to make a distinction. So life is either lived from the ego's perspective or from the spirit's perspective. And it's a choice. Now, it's not a choice until you know that there is a spiritual perspective. And the spiritual perspective that is embraceable and wanting to be embraced today is that who you are, who you really, 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 really are, is not the conditioned being that is the result of your upbringing, your family dynamics, whatever all of that is. You are not that. You are an individualized or individuated expression of divinity. You are beautiful, you are powerful, you are creative, you are whole, you are perfect right now in this moment. God doesn't stop loving you just because you do something stupid. Of course, which you don't ever do, but if you were to do something stupid, you could rest assured that the spirit of life, this thing we're calling God, or the quantum field of unlimited possibilities, or infinite love, universal intelligence, I don't care the word we use. And there are lots of words used on this planet in different areas and cultures to describe what we're talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? So instead of letting love go, how about we just let love be? How about if you were to entertain the idea that as spiritual beings having a human experience, that there is a part of you that is transcendent to your body and transcendent to this life experience. That you have a soul, you have a spirit. I would say, and this science, mind, philosophy, faith, and way of life that we teach would say that there are no accidents, that you are a soul, a spirit who has chosen at that level. I kind of think of it like a wine bar in heaven, that our souls are there, just hanging out, and we're having a conversation, and at some moment I say to your soul, my soul says to your soul, do you want to go back to Earth? Okay, how about this? How about I'll go back as your daughter, and you go back as my mother? Or let's go back, let's go to Earth together, and there's a reason. Maybe they want to experience love or compassion, or our soul wants just the incredible deliciousness of what living on this planet means, the tasting, the smelling, the looking, the feeling, all the drama, like the range of emotions. So we're sipping our heavenly delight, whatever it is, and we decide, let's go back. I'll be your wife and you be my husband, and let's see how it goes. So the idea being that our souls are connected on purpose. So whether you stay married or get divorced, whether your partner of 25 years ago was a good person or a bad person, is totally irrelevant. Because love is the truth between our souls. So perhaps there could be an ancient grudge or something that gets released. I actually want to tell you the story. It's very personal, but I'm learning how to be more of that. My mother and father divorced when I was 10. And when I was 11, my mother married a monster known as my stepfather. And for the next 6 years or 7 years before I left the house, it was pretty unpleasant. He was an alcoholic. There was some molestation. My teenage years were chaos and trauma. And I could never understand why my mother married him, what she saw in him. And at the time, as a 12-year-old, I actually thought it made her a little stupid. But when I was in 2000, so it was 25 years ago when I was 50, my mother passed. And I went to where they were living, which was in Modesto, and I still hated him. I was in ministerial school. I was a very spiritual person already, but I hated him. But he happened to live in the same town where my brother lived. So I was going to go visit my brother, and of course couldn't get out of going to visit him. His name was Mike. But I'm going to tell you, when I walked into the room, there was nobody there except a broken, sad 75-year-old man who fell into my arms in tears and said to me, "Oh my God, you look just like her." Now, I'm telling you this because it was my gift to come to the realization that the monsters are purely only human beings who don't know what I just said to you. They don't know they're spiritual. They don't know they're beautiful. They don't know that there's a different way to live. They don't know that they didn't have to be that way. And I could see the regret all over his face. The shame and the regret and the loss and so there was nothing to do but to hug him back and to let it be. Doesn't mean I had to like it. Doesn't mean I had to really even forgive him for the actions. But it meant that as a person who believes in these principles, I had to practice them, which is to have compassion for his lack of understanding. Not judgment for his lack of understanding, but compassion. Because all of us want to live fuller, freer lives. All of us want, because all of us, it made me think about, wow, I wonder what his parents were like. I wonder how he was treated. I wonder what happened there. I never really thought that before. I just plain old hated him. So, letting love be. Your love was real, and so was theirs. And this is very hard for some people to hear and really believe because it feels like evil happened, or it feels like something just not good happened. And it could be that something not good happened. Listen, just go. Reverend friend of mine, Reverend Edward Philhune, did a talk once, and he said, if you want to do a master class in consciousness, a graduate program, if you want your PhD in consciousness, get out of your bed and walk. And his point was, life is going to give you everything you need. It's going to teach you everything you need. It's going to reveal to you everything you need, especially if you do it with intention. Like, I'm about the business of loving, which is really our message today, that you and I are about the business of loving. So one invitation is just to let go of some old grudge. Not like, it really is the essence of forgiveness. I forgive you for whatever it is you did, said, how you were, whether you took out the garbage or not, just because I have the capacity to do that so that you can be free and so that I can be free. Because you cannot be free if your life is about the love you lost 25 years ago, about how unfairly you were treated. You cannot live your fullest life if you have guilt over your having left. I remember counseling a young woman once who had a child with her husband, and she did not want to be a mother. Do you know how unpopular that is? To have mothers not want to be mothers? And she was so racked with guilt about even thinking that she did not want to spend her life being a mom. But you know what? She has the right to choose that, right? It's a little unthinkable for some of us. But the fulfillment of her life and the contract she had with this child's father was that she was going to bring this child, at the child's request, into the world. And then she was going to go do whatever her calling was. and the dad was going to raise the child. Now, it sounds a little radical, but that's a beautiful thing, to live with that much authenticity and to live what really is your path, especially if it's a divine path, right? So, letting love be. So why you do it? Because there's relief. You actually do it for relief. But the real thing here is we can let love go, we can let love be, or we can just let love loose, which is really the end result of forgiveness. The end result of forgiveness, the end of self and other, the end result is you are then free to love the world exactly the way that it is and exactly the way that it is not. Then it doesn't have to be a certain way, so you give up being a conditional lover, and you just recognize that your job description, your true job description, is to walk this earth in whatever way, unique way, you want to walk the earth. And no matter where you're walking or how you're walking, that you are letting love loose everywhere you go, because it's healing. So who was telling me the story? It's an age thing. I don't know who was telling me the story, sorry. Oh, I think it was you, Aubrey. Tell me about walking into a church when nobody was there. Yes. And so walking into, not this church, but some other church, when nobody was there, sorry, I'm breaking your confidence. Okay, good. Anyway, about walking in and having the pastor or whoever's there literally just sit and just hold the space for love, hold the space for emotion, hold the space for healing, just holding the space. And all of it can be that. Because the person you're judging won't be healed by your judgment. Have you ever been healed by judgment? Have you been hurt by judgment? Yeah. Have you ever been healed by withholding your love? Have you ever been healed by giving your love? Yeah. So remember that everyone's on their own path. Some of us have already been kind of pushed by pain into looking deeper to see who we really are, to see what the meaning of life is. Why am I here? What am I doing here? Some of us aren't interested in looking at that, right? They're just moving through life, being blown around like I once was. Maybe some of you were also just blown around by circumstances. But everyone is ultimately on a spiritual path. Why? Because you are spiritual. You are a spirit. You are a soul who's chosen to be here for the purpose of loving and experiencing. So the invitation really today is simply just to close our month on love in the full awareness that it's the whole point of living. There's no other point, and that we can do it. We're made to do it. It's in our DNA to love. So we'll put we can put a period at the end of any unloving story we might still be telling ourselves or others, or maybe even an exclamation point. So that's there, and then you move away from that exclamation point with an open heart, knowing that love is not scarce. There is love out there, but you have to invite it. You have to make it welcome in your experience. So here's our affirmation for this morning. I'm going to read it first, and then you're going to read it with gusto after me. So love started with God and ends with me. I allow all my relations, yes, all of them, to simply be love. I loose love everywhere, to everyone, all of the time. Your turn with gusto. Love started with God and ends with me. I Keep going. Yes. I believed you, every word. All right, let's move into prayer for a moment and allow prayer to do what words and thought and conscious thinking can't really do, which is to move the sentiment, to move the declaration you just made into your heart, into that part of you that is subconscious, unconscious, but simultaneously the source of everything you feel, everything you say, the actions you take. And so if you're comfortable, close your outer eyes. And while I'm doing this prayer, you might bring into your mind's eye someone or some situation that you find it hard to let be or to let go. As we remember in this moment that there is a power and a presence in this universe that I call God. This power and this presence is eternal. It is infinite. There is no spot where God is not. So it is right where I am, the very essence of my being, and right where you are, the very essence of your being, and right where the person you've brought to mind is, the very essence of their being. We start here as a truth of existence that we are sacred and holy beings connected to each other, to all animals, to all plants, to anything that is, we are connected by virtue of the fact that all that is has been created by only one thing. And so this one thing, I call it love in this moment, knowing that the existence of love, the expression of love, is the only thing that keeps this earth together. The only thing that keeps that which is unloving from taking over. It's the only thing that heals and comforts when things go wrong. Love. And so, speaking my word this morning for all within the sound of my voice is to proclaim and know that this is the truth about you, and that as we all leave here today, that we make love welcomed in our hearts, in our emotions, in our bodies, that we let all of the people who can't seem to make it through our thoughts without annihilation, we let them off the hook, because we know that as we forgive and love, we will be forgiven and loved back. It's how God works. God loves you no matter what you've done, said, or been. You are perfect in its eyes. So for just a moment, just imagine what being loved that much, so like unconditional love, what that would feel like. So in the reading today, Ernest Holmes, our founder, Ernest Holmes said, "I give love to everyone I meet, and I expect love from everyone I meet." That kind of positive expectation sets us up to live our lives heaven on earth. I'm sure it's what we were thinking about when we were sitting across each other on that little table in heaven, drinking some wine, planning our incarnation. And so I'm grateful. I am grateful that love is real. I'm grateful that it's the truth of our being. I'm grateful that we can change our minds, that free will, this thing called free will, we get to choose what to think, we get to choose what to say, and we get to choose how to feel. And I would say, choose, think, love every chance you get. When given a chance to be loving, take it. And so for this, with this word released, knowing that we have planted seeds that are even now getting ready to blossom in your lives, in your hearts, and in your minds, we just simply allow them. We don't dig them up. We don't wonder if it's going to work. We just simply leave this time and space together, loving ourselves and loving each other. And so with an open heart and a grateful mind, we let it be. And I ask you to anchor this for yourself by saying with me, and so it is, amen.